Sure. A very good hello. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming one and all present here today at the France country session organized by the Consulate General of France in Pondicherry and Chennai and the Indo-French Chamber of Commerce and Industries, Business France, Regional Economic Service, Embassy of France in India, French Foreign Trade Advisors, also known as CCEF, Alliance Française of Madras, and La French Tech. I'm Viji. I'm the Press and Protocol Attaché at the Consulate General of France in Pondicherry and Chennai, and I will be the master of the ceremony for this session. Without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Yohan Samuel, Regional Director, Southern Region, Indo-French Chamber of Commerce, to give his welcome remarks.
Thank you, Viji. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and distinguished participants, welcome to the France country session of the Tamil Nadu Global Investors Meet 2024 here in Chennai, organized by the Indo-French Chamber of Commerce and Industry, also known as IFCI, and the Consulate of France in Pondicherry and Chennai, and the entire team France and India. It's a privilege to gather here today for this session, where we will focus on two themes that are Industry 5.0 and the crucial strategies of diversity and inclusion in the workplace, that are some of the many important topics which France as a country, through its companies present in India and particularly in Tamil Nadu, is focusing on. Innovation knows no boundaries, and Industry 5.0 exemplifies this by merging cutting-edge technology with human expertise. In the current context that we find ourselves in, diversity and inclusion emerges as a fundamental imperative. They are not merely concepts, but catalysts for growth and excellence. We gather here today to explore how these values are not only pivotal for economic progress, but also for fostering dynamic and balanced work environments. We stand united in our pursuit of excellence, ready to discover how Industry 5.0 can be the impetus for transformational change, where diversity and inclusion are not just celebrated, but deeply woven into the fabric of our success. Before we start our session today, I would like to acknowledge the many French companies that are part of the French pavilion, on the ground floor, especially our different partners, many of whom that you will hear from today during this country session. Namely, our gold partners, Valeo and Michelin, our silver partners, Cryolor, Asia Pacific, Numeric, Precious Molen and Technip Energies, and our global mobility partners, Anywhere India. I wish you all a wonderful session ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Samuel. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us today Mrs. Lise Talbot-Barry, Consul General of France in Pondicherry and Chennai. Mrs. Barry's diplomatic career spanning over 20 years, where she has served in a number of high-level positions across countries and has also been the special advisor to the Director of Asia and Oceanic in Paris. Please join me in welcoming Madame la Consul General on stage for a special address.
So thank you all for coming for this French session. I would like to start by big thanks to the government of Tamil Nadu for having France as a country partner. A special gratitude to the Honorable Chief Minister and to the Honorable Minister of Industry, who have showed great support to us. This is much better. Who have showed great support to us, and they were really willing to have France part of the GIM 2024. And we were really happy to work close hands with Minister Raja and with guidance. So also a special gratitude to the guidance team, to Ms. Prija and all the management that were really supportive to the French team. France and Tamil Nadu have a long history. Our relationship date back from the 17th century, when French first came to India, to Puducherry and Madras, and since then our relation just kept growing. France has been a country partner at the gym right from the beginning. We were participating at the first and second edition. And I have to say this third edition is really surprising, really amazing. Yeah, we could see really an upgrade, massive upgrade in the quality of organization and quality of companies present within the fair, and also thanks to the French companies investing in Tamil Nadu. As Vijay and you had said, it's a teamwork, so we are working as Team France. It's not only the Consulate General of France in Puducherry and Chennai, it's also Indo-French Chamber of Commerce with the Business France, our trade agency, the Trade Economic Service of the Embassy, and the network of our trade advisor, foreign trade advisor, which are voluntary businessmen, French businessmen doing business in India who are helping us promoting business ties and B2B contacts. So, and as they are entering the room, so special thanks to the network of CCEF, who have been working with us very hard to build this country session and the French pavilion. So I strongly invite you to visit the Pavillon France on the ground floor. As Johan said, we have 9 companies on the pavilion. We also have a cultural space with digital arts, augmented reality and virtual reality in arts, that we wanted to showcase what France can do best in terms of expertise. As I was saying, France and India have been enjoying long and historic cultural, historic heritage, long history of relationship. In 2022, we celebrated 75 years of relationships. And last year, in 2023, it was 25 years of strategic partnership. For this occasion, the French President Emmanuel Macron invited Prime Minister Narendra Modi to be the guest of honor of our National Day in July, 14th of July in Paris, as India was the guest of honor of our Bastille Day. So you may remind of these great pictures of the Indian Army marching down the Champs-Élysées and the Indian Air Force Rafale flying over Paris. So I would like just to stop on this image, the symbol of having a foreign fighter jet flying over your capital city. You don't see that every day, but it's really the symbol of what we wanted to show, of our leaders wanted to show the world, this friendship, trust and fraternity between France and India, and what we would like to build together, what we are doing, and of course we want to do much more. So as this momentum of relationship is growing, our relationship have never been so dynamic, so widely developed across all sectors of our society. Of course, at the gym, we're talking about innovation, we're talking about sustainable industry, automotive, and we're going to talk also today about diversity, but we also have cooperation in the space, defense, culture, education, research, and sports. And I'm mentioning sports, as you may know that Paris will host next Olympic Games next summer. So I invite you also to visit Paris during this just amazing international sports event. And for those who cannot make it to France, we'll have fan zones in Pondicherry where you will be able to watch all the events of the Olympics. So as this momentum is going on, we are not stopping here. We had the chance last year to have our first visit, the first visit of a French minister in Chennai, thanks to the G20 Environment Ministerial Meeting. So we had the chance to welcome Mr. Beshu, our Environment Minister, who came to Chennai last July. And as Tamil Nadu is at the center of our relation with India, our new ambassador last year, who took charge in September, wanted to come very, very quickly to Chennai, and so he came to us in October, beginning of October, among his first trips outside Delhi. So Mr. Matou, Thierry Matou, new ambassador of France to India, visited us very shortly after taking charge. And to keep this dynamic going on, we have the honor, as France will be the guest of honor of your Republic Day, and French President, the President of the French Republic, Mr. Emmanuel Macron, will be the guest of honor in Delhi on January 26th. So this is to show you the momentum we have. We have a roadmap between our two countries to develop our relationship on the next 25 years, with a strong focus on defense, space, nuclear energy among the defense and sovereignty pillar of this strategic partnership. We also have a very strong focus on partnership for the planet and how we can work together to have a better, more sustainable development, more sustainable cities with more sustainable services to the population, to our people, and a partnership for people with all education, science, sports, culture, cooperation. What about France in Tamil Nadu? So as I said, we have a long history, and we have a strong presence in Tamil Nadu. You know that the French community in the south of India is 2/3 of the French community in all India. They are all here in Tamil Nadu and in Pondicherry.
Ms. Judy is the Director, People and Culture, India APAC, Technip Energies, an accomplished human resource professional with 25 years of professional and strategic expertise. She has overseen HR functions across India, Malaysia, Australia, China, Thailand, Indonesia, and Singapore since September 2013. Welcome, Ms. Judy. I would like to now invite Mr. Ramesh Sampath, Human Resource Director, India and Asian Value Group, our second panelist. Mr. Ramesh has 27 years of experience in Human Resource Department, currently covering 25 states with over 14,000 employees for India and Asia. And Mr. Ramesh has delivered a speech at the United Nations Conference headquartered in Austria on their invitation to share values India's inclusive workforce best practices.
Thank you so much, Viji, and welcome all to this fireside chat on driving diversity and inclusion strategies. One of the themes of this Tamil Nadu government investors meet is inclusion. And I feel that, it also ties up well with sustainability and leadership, because somehow to be a successful organization, to be striving well in today's world, you need to have a meaningful and a purposeful DI strategy. So this is why, together with our co-panelists, we'll be together today discussing. The objective of this discussion today is really to discuss about the best practices that each of us, whether it's in Technip, in Valeo, or BNP Paribas, have been implementing throughout the years. So maybe I will start with you, Judy. What are your key focus areas when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion? Because of course we are all working with our head office, but somehow we need to adapt it to our local context, right? So what is your key focus area?
So thank you, Niro. First of all, good afternoon to everybody. I'm really honored to be here and part of this fireside chat. So Technip Energies, we are an equal opportunity employer to begin with. And diversity and inclusion is just one aspect of the big picture of ESG. So Technip Energies, we have ESG as the broad aspect, and under which we have three main pillars, which is climate and environment, people and trust. So I see that the D&I fits very well into the people aspects of for us for when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we put some practices in place, because just calling them action items or pillars really doesn't help. So one for me is that in India, we are a very diverse country, but we didn't know that this was something that we can track. So I see that it's not happening so organically. So first of all, I think leadership commitment, the whole leadership talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion and driving it top to bottom. This is one of the main actions that we have implemented over the last many years. Recruitment focus with diversity lens. Now it's not just about gender, it's also about people with disabilities, LGBTQ, etc. So a lot of actions on the talent acquisition front with regards to young graduates that we hire from the colleges, creating a learning and environment, where we have some mandatory learning goals for each and every of our employees. So I think this all put together with small but firm measurable actions is what we can say I'm proudly driving, and with some success. The needle is moving. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Judy. And good to see that DEI is completely linked with your ESG strategy.
Absolutely.
What about you, Ramesh in Valeo?
Thank you. Happy to be here. And so DEI strategy at Valeo is driven at all levels, particularly monitored and led by the top. The diversity in terms of the pillars of diversity, gender, generational, cultural, and the 4 pillars of diversity, if you look at, the Valeo drives each one of that with a clear action plan and targets. For example, if you look at Valeo operates in 29 countries, and all put together, combining all 29 countries, the target that was taken for 2023 was to achieve 28%. Likewise, each country and each business vertical do have targets to achieve it. For example, if you look at the diversity as an example, we have a lot of initiatives, particularly in hiring, since we do have a blend of manufacturing and R&D, we do have a clear targets achieving it. With respect to disability, Valeo ensures the infrastructural adaptations at all the sites in Valeo to accommodate the disability diversity, in addition to taking the country legal requirements into the consideration. With respect to generational diversity, again, it's more of a regional topic where, for example, if you take for India, it is more true with millennials. Having an Indian, average age of an Indian is 28 against Japanese, which is 49, and German guys, which is 47.8, and France, it is 41.1. It requires a different approach among different countries. So these were the differences that we do maintain. On cultural diversity, if you look at, we do have a common language across Valeo. And very importantly, on the cultural, we develop more of international talents, to cater to the needs of, to the across Valeo sites globally. In addition to that, we also have the internal mobility, very easy for the people to apply for the jobs wherever it is. This is how we create, a talent pool that is more diverse, more vibrant. With respect to gender equity index, that is more to do with equity, we do measure the global scale of equity index, particularly if you look at the weighted average of men and women employees. That's one indicator that we do. The second indicator that we measure is more that how much of increase was given between these two, men and women, and how many promotions were given, and how many people have come back after maternity. These were the few that were given. On the LGBTQ, in terms of inclusion is concerned, we are more in the sense, all our policies and practices are gender neutral. So that is how we accommodate. Going forward, when we explore more, I will also more talk about the other, the domains of diversity. What did we do in India? Thank you, Niro.
So maybe, Niro, you can share what you do in BNP, since this is a fireside chat.
So what I find is that although we are all operating in different sectors, there's a lot of commonality, because you talked about gender. So in India, gender is a key topic, basically because of the percentage of women entering the workforce, which is quite low, actually. We also work on LGBTQIA+, and both of you have mentioned that. And finally, this is also about people with disability. And I can see also the approach of linking it with ESG, and also now the trend of measuring, having clear KPI that you can publish, to your leadership team and show, tangible efforts. So that was the first round. The second one I have is to you, Judy. We can start with you on, can you share what are your gender practices? Because gender, I think, is a vast topic. So is there any kind of specific initiative that you've done on the space of attraction or retention of women? I was reading lately, the Economic Times HR World, and they were saying that there was only 26% of representation of women within the workforce in India. This number has increased from 2021, but it remains low when you compare to other, more developed nations or even within the emerging countries. So what are the practices that you are actually implementing?
So yeah, thank you for that question. The answer I can speak for like till evening. About,
we don't have that time.
We don't have that much time. But just to, I was having a chat with one of my colleagues and I read this somewhere, it stays in my mind. When I enter the workplace, I have no gender. Okay, so that for me is a fundamental. But having said that, sometimes we need to put policies or procedures in place to drive some of those KPIs. Because if we expect that will happen organically, maybe not so fast, it will take more time. But so we really need to focus and get people to be involved in diversity of all aspects. Coming back to your question, gender practices, okay. So first of all, promoting equal opportunities. So all our job postings are out there. We ensure that there is no bias. It's very gender neutral. Everybody can apply for any kind of role. So first of all, yes. And I also see in India, there is a bit of a hesitation by our female colleagues to apply for some jobs because they already think that they don't fit all the criteria. So we do run counseling sessions, or there's a chance that they won't do well, and they may lose the opportunity in their existing department as well. So one of the things that we consciously take care is providing the opportunity to fail. So if you don't do well in your new opportunity, welcome back to your older position. So this is something which I fundamentally believe is a good starting point. Then, of course, offering hybrid work. Smart work is the tagline. Everybody, not just male or female, I think is gender neutral again. Everybody enjoys this pay parity, which we keep speaking about, special budget being allocated for female salary increases. I think this will go away. So these are some of the measures we are trying to implement.
Thank you so much, Judy. This is comprehensive. What about you, Ramesh, in terms of what are the difficulties that you think women face at the workplace and why do they quit?
Okay, so we need to have the ecosystem, built inside the organization that, automotive industry, we do have difficulties to hire previously in terms of, hiring women candidates. And today in our software division, that what we have in Chennai has 32% women today. So if you look at electronics and software, it is possible to get the people. In fact, it requires a little bit of drive, to be, invested by the companies. We do have quarterly targets, to hire people. We ensure that the women participates in the interview panel, the participation of women in the interview panel. We do have practices that are more, for example, if you have a reference scheme, if you refer a women employee, you are rewarded more, to get more women candidates. And the digital well-being scheme that what we have, the digital wellness, the programs that what we have, and if you look at the HR indicators, if you look at the retention, hiring, development, mobility, all these indicators, we generate reports, we analyze by all domains of diversity.